Well, folks, the Stolen Valor season is upon us. That's right. Veterans Day. It's coming up this coming weekend. So, a lot of businesses, restaurants, you name it, everybody wants to honor our veterans. And there's discounts, free meals, you name it, it's out there, parades. And there are many faces of stolen valor. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about what stolen valor actually is. And it's generally not a crime to lie about serving in the military uh, or just brag to impress people. A lot of people will embellish their actual military service. I guess they feel as though they didn't do enough during their service and they need to embellish that service with valorous awards, Purple Hearts, Combat Action Badge, Combat Infantry Badge, Combat Medic Badge. Um, they completely flush their service down the toilet by embellishing it with things they never did or never earned. So, what is stolen valor? Well, it's basically what I just said it is. And it has become such an epidemic that in 2005, they enacted the Stolen Valor Act. However, the initial Stolen Valor Act was struck down by the Supreme Court in regards to the United States versus Alvarez. Um, he was charged with wearing unearned medals. I believe it was a Medal of Honor, and it violated his constitutional right to free speech. Now, during that time, uh, many of the judges had their own opinions. And one of the opinions that was published was the fact that, yes, it is in fact their First Amendment right to be able to do that and dress up and play soldier and wear medals and awards and stuff. Uh, it's our right to turn right around and tell the truth about them. And that's why we have websites dedicated to it. I'm going to highlight a couple of those websites, and that's kind of why I get into it. I started following these websites, became very intrigued with it, and I learned how to do records requests, Freedom of Information Act requests, and I was pretty good at it. And I've gotten back a lot of records, and I've posted videos about a lot of them. The so the Stolen Valor Act of 2005 was struck down, United States versus Alvarez. Then they came up with the Stolen Valor Act of 2013. And it specifies that, um, well, I'll just read it. The 2005 law did not account for intent. So it was amended in 2013 following the Supreme Court ruling. The Stolen Valor Act of 2013 specifically makes it a crime to falsely claim military service, embellished rank, or earned awards, and the intent to obtain money, property, or other tangible benefits. Now, a lot of these stolen valor thieves that are out there, they try and skirt around this, that other tangible benefits. You have to be able to quantify what that other tangible benefit is. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Under the Amendment Act, fraudulent claims regarding military service are subject to a fine, imprisonment for up to 1 year, or both. The Valor Awards specifically mentioned in the Act include the Medal of Honor, Distinguished Service Cross, Navy Cross, Air Force Cross, Silver Star, Bronze Star, Purple Heart, Combat Action Ribbon, Combat Infantryman's Badge, Combat Action Badge, Combat Medical Badge, and they've got the Combat Action Medal or the Combat Action Ribbon. And that was a win for us in 2013 when they refined it. Now each and every state Every state that I've looked at has their own statute in regards to stolen valor, impersonating military personnel, falsifying documents, wearing awards and stuff that they're not supposed to. Every one of them has it, but trying to get some of these states to actually prosecute under their own statutes, that's a different story. That doesn't always work out to the best. So we talk about the faces of stolen valor. Let me show you. Let's see here. I just came up with this. I've got some different photographs of stolen valor. Now, Soup Sandwich here, he's been around a long time. He's since passed, uh, but he showed up at Fort Benning to his son's graduation wearing this. Now, if that doesn't make your head spin around like Linda Blair, I don't know what will. Uh, that's why they call him Soup Sandwich, because he's as screwed up as a soup sandwich. Air Force uniform, all kinds of. I'm not even going to get into it. This thing's been picked apart. Um, it's out there on the internet, and it's just hilarious. This gentleman, yet again, another one. Uh, one of the telltale signs. Now you see the marksmanship badge when they start putting those ladders underneath it, and you'll see most of these guys that are perpetrating stolen valor, they'll have a whole big long set of bars underneath their marksmanship medal. And of course, this guy's free fall, senior airborne wing, CIB. I don't know what he's got above the CIB. You can't really see it. It's under the lapel, but this is just an 8-up. Oh, special forces. He's wearing a green beret. He was outed by Guardians of the Green Beret, one of my favorite sites to go to see all of these guys. This guy, this is a photograph from his wedding, and he shows up and there you go again with the marksmanship badge with all the little tabs under it. But this guy's a corporal, an E4, so he's probably been in less than 5 years. But he amassed scuba school, air assault school, airborne school. I don't know what's under the CIB. It could be Army Free Fall. But then when you start going through the ribbon rack, it looks like his good conduct ribbon. He's got a couple of knots on it, which means he would have been in longer than 6 years if he's got more than 2 of those awards, and it looks like he might have 3, so that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, and this is he's wearing a Special Forces tab, and yeah, another total phony. This guy was talked about on Guardians of the Green Beret as well. Yet another one. This guy has been outed. I don't recall all of the surrounding facts, but yeah, he's 8-up. Then we got everybody's favorite uh, Special Forces Major, Jeremy Charles DeWitt. Yes, yes, yes. And by the way, I've got a new video coming out on him because he's still living the lie. He's been off the radar for a while, but his girlfriend, now he's pictured here with his wife. His girlfriend has just released a video, which I managed to snag up, and he's talking shit about being in Iraq and Afghanistan because he caused a car accident or something. But that video's coming. That'll be coming out soon. And then everybody's favorite in our most recent Stolen Valor vulture right here, Michael Kaiser. Yeah, never airborne, dropped out of basic training twice, and is a complete turd in a punch bowl. So now what I want to do is share a website that really I started following right before I retired or right after I retired. And I retired October of 2011. It was called This Ain't Hell.us. John Lalo was a retired U.S. Army Sergeant First Class infantry guy, and he was shown on TV. And there's been numerous articles about his stolen valor investigations. And John was a really good mentor for me. The name of the website now is valorguardians.com. They no longer do the investigations, but they post a lot of investigations from another website, which I'm going to show you. But this is just 2023. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So these are from 2023, follow-ups on some of the investigations that have been done. And you can go on there and look at all of these. There's a couple of cases, and I'm currently working on a pseudo documentary on stolen valor and some of the different cases that I've been involved with. And I think it'll be pretty interesting. But as you can see, there's no lack of it, and that's why I say it's an epidemic. We can go to the next page, and they just keep coming. They just keep coming. It's just amazing. Everybody knows Don Shipley. Don Shipley, he's a savage. He attacks the fake Navy SEALs like nobody's business, and he's awesome at it. I love that he gets them on the phone. Unfortunately, where I'm located, we're a two-party consent state. I can't call somebody up and just record the conversations. So I don't try. I have had conversations with some of these guys. Of course, I couldn't record it, but that's the problem of being in a two-party state. So yeah, these are just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And this is all just from 2023. So, go on over to the website and just click on Valor Vultures and read some of these. It's just unbelievable what is out there. Next one I'm going to show you is the other website. And let me unzoom that real quick so you can see it. It's called Military Phonies. And it's militaryphony.com. These guys actually go out and do the investigations. And a lot of these get previewed on the other website. And it's crazy. Simply crazy. So let's take a little zoom in here. Of course, now my monitor doesn't want to. There we go. So these are also different investigations by military phonies, and you can go on there and just look. It's ridiculous. All of the different investigations that have been done. And of course, my favorite, Guardians of the Green Beret. You got to go over and check them out as well. They basically out all of the special forces phonies that are out there living the lie, and a lot of these guys skirt the statutes. Well, you have to be able to quantify. For instance, our latest and greatest, this clown. He's right there on the edge of being able to be charged with stolen valor, he completely made up an entire military career to promote his YouTube channel, which has garnered him subscribers, views. He's monetized, so he is getting paid for it. And he did base his entire thing on his military career. However, since I did the Freedom of Information Act request to the Alabama National Guard, got his records, and basically shown that he never graduated basic training, has no awards, no military occupational skill, and yeah, excuse me. So this weekend, Veterans Day, they'll be out there. They'll be at the parades. They'll be at the restaurants. They'll be all dressed up in their BS uniforms, wearing all the accoutrements that go with it. And, you know, I think Stolen Valor has been around forever. I mean, it probably goes all the way back Revolutionary War, you know, it just does. But it's really out in the open now, especially with social media. It's very easy to scour through social media and see something. Now, people that have never been in the military, they always ask, well, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is these guys are claiming stuff that they didn't have to put the work in. They're lying, basically. They're being frauds. And I mean, if you're okay with that, by all means, I guess you could be okay with it. But, then I have to question your integrity, really. If it doesn't appear to be a big deal for you, for these guys to be out there lying and grifting and doing all of this stuff. And for that matter, there's, in Kaiser's case, there's actually military people on his channel that are supporting him with all of this information that's out there about him never graduating basic training. And they're still supporting him by subscribing and by viewing his videos. He's getting that money. He's hemorrhaging a little bit right now. He's losing an awful lot of subscribers just because the stuff that's out there has been relentless. And we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop. He has never came out and said it's all a lie. And he needs to. He needs to fess up, because as long as he doesn't, we're going to keep right at him. And we'll probably keep at him anyway, just because he's not a very nice person. Some of the traits that you'll see between all of these, or I should say most of these stolen valor vultures, are they all have criminal records. They all usually have felonies. Several of them are on the sex offender registries. Not all of them, but there's a few out there. Jeremy DeWitt's one of them. Jeremy was a special case because he was never in the military. He never could join the military. He was a convicted felon at the age of 19. To get a waiver for a convicted felon to go in the military, not happening. You can't touch weapons. There's nothing in any military service where they have a job that you never have to touch a weapon. Everybody has to qualify. So, yeah. All right. I wanted to keep this relatively short, and I definitely wanted to get it out there before Veterans Day. So if you're out and about, and by all means, don't go running around screaming stolen valor at some obviously mentally disturbed individual wearing bits and pieces of a military uniform walking around the mall. There's ways to do it. It doesn't show you in a good light when you do things like that. But question them, ask them some questions. If you can get their name or any pertinent information, by all means. But don't be doing the craziness, because in today's world, you never know what's going to happen. So, With that, everybody have a great Veterans Day weekend. And as always, have yourself a great day. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, click the bell, and give us a thumbs up.